At Your Own Risk, the co-pilot podcast, and this is episode 18. And I'm going to talk about the 2025 Baja 500 that I got to race with the Ziegler brothers in the 15T two-wheel drive trophy truck, now that there are two classes. I know I've been jumping around. Obviously, the last episode was about the Legacy Baja Nevada race. But this one, I kind of got busy, and I'm just trying to jump back in and get everybody, my experience of the 2025 Baja 500 in with the Ziegler brothers racing team of David Ziegler and Paul Ziegler. Is just a great time and a great opportunity to be part of that team as well and helping them out with everything. And again, that race was on Saturday, June 7th, and it was a 460-mile race. I was very fortunate that I did not have to get out of the truck, and I got to navigate for both David and Paul for the whole race. And it was a race definitely that didn't go our way. We had some issues, and I'll talk about everything that happened during the race and how we, just kept going and doing the best we could with what we had. As far as just trying to get over the adversities of off-road racing that I know everybody that listens to this stuff, I know they know very well of the things that can happen and go wrong out there in the desert, and especially when it comes to a Baja race, definitely a different animal, and a lot of things can go different ways. So, but again, that race was the 2025 Baja 500. We were in a two-wheel drive trophy truck class, and the team got to qualify, and they were able to qualify in 8th place. So, not a bad spot. The only problem was we finished in 8th place. So we qualified 8th and finished 8th. After the whole day was done, it did take it took 13 hours, 14 minutes, and 36 seconds to finish that race. We started sometime around, I want to say about 10 o'clock, and we came in actually a little bit more earlier than that, about 9 o'clock, because we did come in about 11:30, which would make it about 13 hours. Or maybe 10. Anyway, so we started around that time somewhere out at the ranch, and David Ziegler was the first driver and also the qualifier, and so he would go from the start to mile 275, and then his brother Paul would get in at mile marker 275 to the finish. So we basically took off very well, had no issues. One of the weirdest things to see when we started that race was that right at the start out at the ranch, you're coming around a turn with through some trees, and the first thing we saw was Paul Verde's truck, like right around no less than a mile from the start. And man, that was tough to see, because he just puts in a lot of work and a lot of time into his program, and to see him with the truck just completely done right there at the beginning was insane. It really was crazy to see that that's how far that truck had made it. And man, that was not a good feeling as far as for me. Just you feel bad for the guy. So Chris, that sucked to see, being in a truck and knowing that you want to go out there and have some fun. So we got through that, and then obviously infield, tons and tons of people out there at the ranch. That's always fun to be a part of. It's just insane when you're jumping over these big crests and landing and there's just people everywhere. That was pretty crazy. Obviously, kind of almost reminded me of being out at running through Zoo Road for the first time, and that is the first time that I had ever started the Baja 500 as well. So out at that ranch. It's awesome. I think it's an awesome thing that the score does to let people be out there and enjoy the day and see these trucks just plowing through that. So we got started there. Really had no issues. We started to catch some trucks pretty quickly through there. And one of the other cool things too is for the Baja 500. We were using Baja Brian's notes again. He's got a system that I really enjoy. I love, and I think it makes a huge difference when you're out there racing on some of the things, especially to some of the terrain, some of the lines, and some of the terrain as far as what's coming, what might not be marked. I know for me personally, I think he does an awesome job of everything he marks out there, and I always look forward to being having those notes on my Lawrence and helping me navigate drivers through that stuff out in the Baja Desert through the score races. So we ended up getting pretty close to one truck, and we kept seeing the dust of this next truck, and there's the funny thing about, so we were trying to chase this truck down. I will say Brian had a great note of that. There was two big rocks coming up around mile 73, and unfortunately, we clipped the rock. We clipped one of the big rocks around mile 73, and on the right side, and it blew both tires on the right side. And so, I we pull off immediately because we knew we'd blown two tires on the right side, and it was pretty cool to be out there in my situation uh, with that there's people out there to help. Not that I need the help, but it's always, I can guarantee you that any navigator or team out there is very appreciative of any help that is out there. But so the guys that were out there apparently had already changed or helped several other teams ahead of us change tires in that very same section. So those guys knew where they were parked, that there was going to be some carnage. So the cool thing was that they were ready to help. So we get the two flat tires around mile 73, right side. We pull in. As soon as we pull in, I mean, the guys that were standing there waste no time, come straight running to the truck, start unratching the two spare tires, and I mean, they just tell David to hit the jack, so he hits the jack. They're already got guns going, trying to take the tires off, and I'm unbuckling as quick as I can. And this happened like so fast, like instantaneously. And so I'm unbuckling, getting ready, getting my gun, everything else getting out. By the time I'm trying to get out, this truck is fully jacked up. I'm not a very, big guy. I'm only about 5'9", and so that with this truck being jacked up, I knew I was going to have to jump off. I jumped off, fell on my back, and the funny thing is, when the race was over, everybody was asking me if I had seen the video of me falling, and I said no, I don't know what you're talking about. Apparently, there was a guy out there recording everything, and so by the time I had gotten done with the race, I had hundreds of people already had sent me the link to my, direct message on Instagram and Facebook, and I had people texting me the link. So it was funny to see me, fall on my ass, and but that's part of it. It's like you keep going. I knew that being so high, I might fall, but I had a helmet and everything else on. I've done that. That has not been the first time that I've fallen and on my back and on my head. I know I've jumped out several other times too much in a hurry. The good thing is, I had a helmet on, and it's all safe. So, um, So the guys did help. Once I got the tires off, they pulled them off. Redid the wrenches. I locked everything down, and I've looked at the video that of the cameras that I had on, and that tire change on two right tires was 2 minutes and like 50 seconds. Thanks to those guys. So whoever you guys are, if you know them, tell them thank you. Really, really appreciate the help, and I guarantee you that every other team that had that same situation happen to them at that section, they're greatly appreciative. So, thank you guys for being out there and for helping out. That made it to where we could keep going and not lose too many positions on other vehicles that were in front of us. So that was around mile 73. Right up ahead, there was a road crossing, and luckily the Brenthel team was right there to slap two new tires on and get us moving. So we got that done, and actually out of the whole race, those were the only two tires we got flat, and that was obviously our own doing. We should have been a little bit more cautious through that section, but we weren't. Just because we could see the dust in front of us, there was another truck, and sometimes you get a little desperate, and you get you just want to get that next position and get in front of them. So, but that cost us about 2 minutes, and like I said, 2 minutes and 50 seconds. We pulled off, got the tires changed, and got back going, and then after mile 73, everything was fine. I don't know if maybe hitting the rock on the right front maybe might have done something to the steering, but we ended up having a steering issue when we would try and go left. The steering would lock up, and so again we're having issues of when you would turn left, the truck would just keep going forward because it's the wheels are not turning. So we kept going through 73. We went up Mike's Sky Ranch, and luckily we didn't have the any issue going through there on the rocks as far as turning left. And so we kept going, no issues through there. And then right around mile 133 was when we had our first issue. And it was going up a hill, and a very rocky hill that turned into a very tight section as you were going up this. And that's mile 133 after Mike's Sky Ranch. You're kind of going down, but then you go back up again. So mile 133, we start going up, and it's going uphill, but you kind of got to turn a little left. David turns it a little left, and the tire, or tries to turn it left. Tires don't engage, and they keep going straight. We go to basically off the road into a pretty big berm with a lot of rocks, because you're going up this hill with a ton of rocks everywhere. And unfortunately, we get high centered with the big rocks. So we're there sitting. I get out. Luckily, we hadn't gone up too high up on the mountain, and so I could still get out and jump out and see what was going on. As I get out, I start to move rocks and dirt and stuff just to try and get us somewhere. David lifts the jack up to see if maybe we can stick some stuff underneath the tires, help us, get some traction either back or forward. While I'm sitting there, there's about, I don't know, maybe 8-10 guys show up that were up on the top of the mountain. They come down trying to help us. They're trying to push us. They're trying to dig with me, trying to figure out something to do. And we just kept lifting the jacks up, hoping that some way we could figure out a way down. And they tried to push us back. We only kept getting worse stuck. And so at some point, one of the guys says, "Hey, you're not too high on the mountain. If you go to the right side, kind of go on the side of the cliff, on a down cliff. Well, it wasn't that bad. We could come back around and back up and come around, basically make a U-turn at the bottom of the valley, and then try and run up the hill again." So finally, after a while, after maybe 40-45 minutes, I mean, it took a while to try and get out of there. We were able to go down the hill, come back up, and get going. But unfortunately, after that, we just kept having the steering issue. Anytime we were trying to turn left, the steering was locking up and making it a little bit difficult to drive the thing. And we did the best we could with that. Um, Once we got into kind of tight, more tight sections, the steering started to get worse. And at this point, David's just kind of like babying the truck as far as to just keep it moving, keep it going, and definitely so we don't get into any more trouble that we don't need to be in. So, we end up keep going, and we're going to mile marker 275, where Paul's going to get in and change and take the truck to the finish, and we're chugging along pretty good. Um, I would say not the greatest, just based on the steering issue we were having. It really definitely slows you down on some of those valleys that are up there. They're pretty narrow, and then you can come up to some really hard left turns that uh, that can get you into trouble, or you can go over a cliff. So that was not fun trying to kind of navigate through that stuff. And then um, Paul gets in at 275. We let him know about the steering issue, that it's locking up on the left, when you're turning left. And luckily, where he got in was on the coast. And through there, really, there wasn't a lot of technical stuff to worry about. Once we started going after that, I think it was, I think around maybe around 390, maybe 380, 380, 390, somewhere around there. It starts to get technical again. So, and it's getting dark. It's nighttime by now, and we have, all the lights are working fine, and we we end up going through another technical section, and around mile marker 405, we come into a left and then a right, and it's like a hairpin right, and then you got to go left again. So when Paul goes to go left after the hairpin right, the steering locks up again, and it sends us to the right side again into the big berm, and again high centered with a bunch of rocks and dirt and everything else. This time, where we were at, there was no way of me getting out of the on the passenger side. As far as getting out of the truck, there was a cliff down on my right side. Luckily, we got high centered, didn't have to worry about anything more than that. But it was a pretty big cliff on my right in that section. And so Paul gets out, I get out on his side. There's still trucks coming. Luckily, with the lights, we can see when vehicles are coming because of the lights. And so we would dig and kind of get out of there when we knew a vehicle was coming, just for our safety. And so we kept digging, trying to figure out a way to get out of there. And as we're digging there, trying to get out or do the best we can, because we're out in the middle of nowhere, um, I see a light of some guy coming down, and he gets to us and he says, "Hey, you guys need help." And I'm like, "Where did you come from?" Like, that was my first thing. I'm like, "We're out in the middle of nowhere, and you're out here with a little flashlight trying to help us." And so he says, "Yeah, I'm up on the mountain watching the race with my mom." And I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "So what do you have?" And he's like, "Well, I have an F-150 up there, but if you can come back with me to the ranch, um, you we can bring back my dad's truck, and it's a 1991 F-150 four-door long bed that I'm sure will take you out of here." And I said, me and Paul are kind of like, we got no other option here. We're stuck, and we have to figure out a way to get out. And this is probably going to be the best way for us to get out of here, just because it was sketchy where we were at. And we did take out the rope, put it on the truck, just in case maybe another team might be able to pull over and get us out of there. But I know that from where that section was and in the dark, I know, there wasn't teams stopping, just because I know that it looked pretty crazy where we were at right there, just in that little section. And so, um, our best option really was to get some help from this guy. So I leave Paul there at the truck, and I walk with him up to the top of the mountain. Maybe about a 10-minute walk. We walk up, and oh no, wait! And while we were there, I did hook up that guy's phone to our Starlink, because he said, "Well, I could send a message to my brother, and maybe he might be able to bring the truck, and we don't have to go together, and we can just wait for the truck here." So I hooked him up to the Starlink, and he started sending messages to his brother back at home. He wasn't getting a message back, so he was like, "Hey, man, this guy's not answering. Um, I think our best bet is to go out there and go back home, and you bring the truck. That way we have two vehicles to get out of here." So I'm I'm like, okay, I'm like, that'll at least get us out of here. We got to get out of here. There's no other way to figure this out. So he sends the message, doesn't get anything back. So I go with him. We walk up to the top of the mountain. His F-150's up there. He had like a 2023 Ford F-150 four-door. And his mother's there. So she's like, "Oh, says hi, offers me, some food and drink that they have," which, I'm like, "All right, cool." Like, and we get in his truck as we start driving back to his dad's ranch. The truck light, we see truck lights come in. So it's his brother. His brother got the message, brought the truck out. We go down, and we have to go, kind of into traffic a little bit with that truck. So luckily, with us being able to see the lights, it wasn't that far. Um, we come down with the truck. He pulls off on the side of the course up on top a little bit. I walk down, find a spot where he can actually pull in and then back out and then pull us out. So he so I find a spot, pull him in there. Once I don't see any lights, we back it up, put the rope on it. Boom, he pulls us out, gets us out of there. When we're out of there, there's still vehicles coming and you know UTVs and other stuff trying to get around us just to make sure. And I can remember while we're sitting there or standing there, I told one of there's a UTV coming. I tell him to go to the right, because you could go up or to the right in this one little section where we were at. And I tell him to go right because it's just easier instead of going up the hill. That was really rocky. And those poor guys decided to go up straight up the hill and flip the thing on its side. Luckily, I'm pretty sure the guys that pulled us out, I'm sure flipped them over. And luckily they were lucky that those guys were there too, to help them out. But um, and that was crazy. That was like the second time we got stuck in high centered. Like I said, it was around mile 405. I really want to thank that guy that came out and helped us and his brother. I don't think I caught their name, but sometimes you just end up in certain situations that the good Lord puts the people out there to help you. And I'm very fortunate that our team had that guy out there. And he says, "Man, I've been out here for years, always trying to see if I can help somebody." And this time was his year to help somebody. So again, if that was you, if you know that guy, thank you very much. We're very appreciative. You got us going and back on the course. So that was awesome. Just to be in that situation where some stranger is out in the middle of nowhere and helps you out. That was pretty cool. So again, hopefully he keeps doing it. He's out there and seeing people, and hopefully he doesn't have to help people. That's the biggest one, is that he won't have to help anybody. So the bad thing about that part is once we got high centered the second time, I think not that we were me. I know me on my end, and I know Paul's. We could have been in a much worse position than what we did, which was just high center and try and get out. We know that it could have been much worse. So after that situation, at 405, we got another maybe 50 miles to go as far as through the desert racing. Um, because once you get to the ranch, you got about 10, 15 miles back into town. So we had some miles. It was dark, and we were coming into another tight section with a very hard left turns, hairpin left turns, stuff that we knew might give us some problem when it came to us, him trying to steer this truck. So um, from that point on, it was kind of very, drive it cautiously. Just because we knew there was a lot of cliffs and a lot of hard left turns, and we did not need to be in another predicament that was going to put us down even that much more time, or even get us into more trouble uh, with the whole truck and us, and us getting, someone getting hurt basically. So it we it that was not fun, trying to muscle and figure out this truck without getting us into any more trouble that we had already gotten into, that had already cost us a bunch of time. So it was it sucked, but we did the best of it. At that last section too, I can remember there was some areas that were getting really foggy to the point where you couldn't see but maybe an inch in front of you, and trying to and Paul trying to steer the thing, me telling him what's coming and can't even see what's coming. I it just it it was not fun on my end. I'm sure it wasn't any fun on Paul's end. So um, we made it to the finish line, got it to the finish, made it into town. I think it was around, like I said, 11:30 when we finally made it, and we finished the 2025 Baja 500. So far, the team's been able to finish both races, the 250 and the 500, and it's just a matter of getting ready for the next one, and seeing what happens. But I think overall we have a great truck. The truck's great. The rental truck is great. These little issues that are just costing do suck, but I mean that's part of racing. Some things go wrong, and sometimes everything goes right, and sometimes everything goes wrong. So over the years, I've learned to accept that. Look, off-road racing is probably the most unpredictable of all sports that are, because you're out in the middle of nowhere, and I'm talking off-road and rally and things like that. Those are probably all up there as real challenges to the equipment and to people and to racers and everybody else. Off-road racing is different, and I think you have to go in with the mentality and a mindset that, yeah, things are going to um, happen or not happen, and you're just going to keep plugging away, figure out a way to keep moving. So overall, we did the best that we could as a team, and I'm excited and very blessed and fortunate that I get these opportunities to race and get to experience them. I want to thank David Ziegler for, again, that opportunity to race with them, and Paul for that was the first time I'd navigated for Paul. That was a ton of fun, and definitely two different driving styles from the guys, um, and it's always fun to get in with anybody else and see how they handle a car and vehicle. So some of them like to be more on the edge, and some of them don't. So, but that's all part of it. That's all part of being a navigator and knowing that you're going to have to change the way you're doing things. So again, that was the 2025 Baja 500 with the Ziegler Brothers Racing, and I really don't have anything else to add to that other than I got some videos. Hopefully, I'll make a video soon, and then again, I just got to thank God for the opportunity and for keeping me safe all those miles, for keeping me safe 460 miles, getting me there and back home safely. And everybody else, again, that listens to this, and if you want to add anything, want to add a comment, you can always send me a DM at my Instagram, Daniel Plaza 1. You can also send me any message or anything at Co-Pilot Mafia on Instagram and Facebook. And I really want to get other people on here. Trust me, I don't want it just to be me talking about my races. Hopefully that's, that's fun to listen to, but I do want to get other people. I mean, I want to listen to other stories other than my own, um, of how people are going through these races, through their own adversities, and what they're doing, whether that's, before then, after it, during, how it's all going. So I'm hoping if you listen to this, if you want to come on and talk about your experiences, I'm more than welcome to talk to anybody. Send me a DM, like I said, on my Instagram, Facebook, or at Copilot Mafia, as well, and I'll reach out to you and figure out a way to get you on here. So, again, thank you, everyone. I really appreciate all the support and everybody that listens to this stuff. I know it's must be, if I don't know, I'm trying to do my best as far as sharing these experiences, and hopefully it's a good job. I don't know. Some people tell me it is. I haven't heard otherwise. So trust me, I'm open to all criticism, one way or another. So again, have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time.